Hey, everybody. On today's episode of Cook's Nook, we've got Dr. Gigi. She is a life and mindset coach, and she talks all about how she helps her clients find their authentic selves. So check it out. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Cook's Nook. And we are in for such a treat because we have one of my favorite human beings on our show today, Dr. Gigi Arnaud. Hi, Dr. Gigi.
Hi, Laura. Nice to see you.
It is so good to see you. I'm gushing because we haven't seen each other in so long.
Well,
And for those of you who don't know Dr. Gigi, you're in for a treat. She is a life and a mindset coach and a hypnotherapist who works with clients from all over to help them help themselves by giving the tools, tips, and exercises so they can change their limiting beliefs to more helpful and positive ones. She works with the body mind connection, with the conscious and subconscious connections, and the left right brain connection, and even more. Her mission is to help her clients learn how to align their thinking and behaviors and actions to their authentic selves. So, thank you again for being here. Let's launch right into our questions. Some really great stuff today. So, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Want to get the story?
ooh, that can be a bit of a long story.
Yes.
As you
You can
see,
give us you can give us the Cliff Notes version.
I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. Okay, as Laura knows, for a long time, professionally, I was a dentist, and I worked in that almost 40 years. And a few years ago, I sold my practice. But on the side, during that time, even when I had my dental practice, I was working as a life coach. I started this like 20 years ago and as a hypnotherapist on the side. And how I got into that was strange. I got into hypnosis for my patients because I had a lot of patients. I'm from French parents. I speak different languages, so I have a lot of people, Europeans and others, a lot of whom were phobic. And so I decided to learn hypnosis, and I was fascinated with it because I'm really fascinated with the human psyche, how people think, how they behave. Uh, so that I was into that, and I helped out. I did that with patients on the side, and then literally about 20 something years ago, a neighbor of mine, when I was living in New Jersey, literally came up to me and said, because life coaching was brand new then, you didn't
Mhm.
really hear about it. She said to me, you know what? You'd be a great life coach. You do this naturally. You're curious about people, you ask them, you're not judgmental, you're listening. I'm like, okay, this sounds great. So I decided I did a course in it, I did the whole thing, and I did love it. I realized, wow, this is fascinating.
Mhm.
But during COVID, the time that I sold my dental practice and all that, I decided, okay, I want to take this coaching that I love and make it into a practice, you know.
Mhm.
So I started doing that and I had to learn about online business and all that stuff. And I did courses. I'm a student and I really enjoyed learning. I've always been fascinated because of my own background with psychology, neuroscience, how behavior, how people react, responses. I come from a family with quite a bit of trauma, mostly intergenerational, but a lot. So there was a lot of effect on me.
Mhm.
So I really wanted to do it to help others to not literally have to struggle and suffer as long or as hard as I did for so many years.
Wow, that is a great explanation. You just covered 5 questions, which was great. Let's talk a little bit about what drives you every day to do this because I mean it's actually a very interesting transition that you went from dentistry into this coaching capacity, but it makes total sense. If anybody's ever been in your chair,
That's right.
it makes total sense to me because you're life coaching as you're doing stuff in people's.
That's exactly right. That's a great way to put it because people don't know there's so much that goes into dentistry, the physical, the business aspects, but a lot of it is your psychology in relation, or your psychology or attitude in relation to the patient.
Right.
And it is a lot of coaching involved. Even the work I did, and Laura knows this, I did breath work with people because, to relieve anxiety as As you know, there is kind of fear when it comes to dentistry with a lot of people.
You don't say. People are afraid of the
A
dentist.
little. So what you do, you do different things. For me, I used humor a little bit. I used breathing techniques. I would put on music that people liked, that relaxed them. That was a big thing.
Mhm.
People still comment now how they miss my music, which is great. But so it wasn't that much of a step. It's for me, it goes a little more directly because after almost 40 years of working in a very small detailed space, there's only so much you can do. You can make a smile beautifully, you can help people psychologically, but to me there was a limit
Sure.
physically.
Sure.
um and so the coaching, what I love about it is that you can go into any area, any domain with people. It's holistic. So with people, they may start with you for professional reasons, which most do, but you always go into the personal, into their background, into how they were taught to think,
Sure.
into the shoulds. There are in the American society or Western society, we have so many shoulds. What our parents taught us, what our society taught us, what our upbringing taught us, what our institutions. And it doesn't always go in alignment with who you really are. It didn't with me. So I really suffered because I looked very accomplished, successful, on the outside. I was, but there was with me, even with that, even doing the dentistry, there was something missing because I realized that my purposes are I'm a healer, helper, and I'm also a creative.
Mhm.
So I had to, but I wanted to work more directly with people's lives. So with the coaching, what the gratification I get out of it is that it directly affects people's lives because what's basic? It's how you think, your
Mhm.
thoughts. Your thoughts are what propels everything in your life.
Mhm.
Your behaviors, your actions. The thoughts are like the atoms, the little things. They're the beginnings. And if you start getting those in order and start mastering the thoughts, mastering your mind, then you're able to master yourself. And then you're able to live in alignment with yourself and achieve your goals, what you really want to do, not what others or other voices say you should do.
It's funny, I've heard people say things like, "You're shooting all over me."
That's a great one. I love that. That's great. You're shooting all over me. Yes. And but but the problem with that, yeah, you can become aware of that when you're older, but when you're a kid, 0 to 7 years is when we absorb all this stuff around us into our subconscious, right? So what happens? It goes down below. It's not your conscious. Your conscious is here, the subconscious, your body is actually representational of your subconscious. So it goes down. So with a lot of clients, we have to kind of bring up, excavate, that stuff that they were taught and then question it,
Yeah.
observe it, question it. That's what we tend not to do I'm generalizing. There are people who do, but in our society, we tend not to do that.
Well, it's
And
not something that people are encouraged to necessarily explore.
not at all, not at all encouraged. It's beautiful that you say that because even myself, who was a fairly aware person, because I had so many, conflicting feelings and ways of I was taught. Yeah, it took me forever to realize that I just don't want people to suffer as long as I did. There's no reason to feel if you're feeling suffering or sad or stuck or empty or something is missing, then it's time to get to it, to look inside. It's not just outside.
Yeah, that's huge. Well, and I think what's really poignant about your story is that you're bringing your own suffering and you're working to help others through it. Some people don't even understand what is their authentic self.
Well, that's the beautifully said, Laura. That's the thing. We don't, we're told we're a certain way. Like it's very funny. I'm thinking, even for social things, when people would introduce me, I didn't like this because I didn't see myself as a dentist. Because
Sure.
if you know me, you know I'm not what people think of as a dentist.
No, not even a little bit.
Not
Yeah.
right. So, but people would introduce me and they would meet me. Oh, she's the dentist, and I didn't like being put in that category because it wasn't me inside. But
Right.
I didn't even know. The thing we have to learn, and I think we're learning more in this society. That's the good thing because when I was a kid, I'm a baby boomer. We didn't even talk about this or think about this or like who had time for this. It was survival. It
Yes.
was
Yes.
very different. Um, But generally, when I work with people, it's a minimum of 3 months because it takes at least that long. Because with people, I help them create uh, habits of thought, mind, body, spirit, and rituals that have to be repeated, and practiced, because that's how we change the neural pathways in our mind. I work typically once a week with them, so you keep up momentum. I'm not only there teaching and learning from them and deeply listening to them, but it's also you're holding them accountable, but you're also their encourager, their cheerleader. You're on their side. I was like that with dental patients also. It's really about helping people, being there for others. I think for me, that's the point of life.
Well, this is so many good nuggets. I mean, we could go on for an hour.
Ever.
Unfortunately, we only have a little bit of time, and I want people to call you and get more. So
I'd be so happy.
if somebody wants to reach out to you
Mhm.
and talk about challenges that they're having or ways that you could help them, what's the best way?
Okay. So the best way is probably to go on my website, which is www.gigiarnaud.com. And the spelling is, an odd French name. So it's
I'm putting it
Gigi.
right down there.
There I go. Gigiarnaud. And I do have a sign up. If you want some free material and just read, it's great. You sign it for your email, you'll get a free guide about mindset hacks. And you'll also sign up for my blog posts, which are not only informational, but they really are helpful in and of themselves. But also, you can sign up with Calendly. You can sign up for a free clarity call with me. I do those, and those are about 45 minutes, which is substantial.
That's substantial.
It's complimentary. So we do that, and we really see if we could work well together and
Mhm.
if we're on the same page and if I can help you. So just to let you know, I'm also on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at Dr. Gigi Arnaud, Dr. Gigi Arnaud.
Perfect. I'll put that right there.
Thank you.
And thank you for the generosity of your time today. It is just so great to learn more about this aspect of your business. What a joy. I can see it brings you so much joy. So please reach out to Dr. Gigi. She is just amazing. You can see how much I love her. And we will see you all on the next episode of Cook's Nook. Thanks again for being with us today.
Such a pleasure. Have a great day, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for watching this episode of Cook's Nook. Be sure to connect with Giselle if you have any questions about her business. And as always, reach out to us if you need any help with buying, selling, or investing in NYC. We'll see you next time.